at Jkia Presidential Pavilion. We had held engagements with Kenya Aviation Workers Union, CAU Stakeholders Engagement Meeting, which was held on 20th August 2024 at Jkia Conference Room. Kenya Civil Aviation Authority Stakeholders Engagement Meeting, which we held on 26th August 2024 at KCAA headquarters. We also had engagements, Speaker, honorable members, with the Kenya Airways Stakeholders Engagement Meeting held on 26th August 2024 at Kenya Airways headquarters Pride Center, Embakasi. We had engagement with Jkia concessionaires, retailers, and all business owners engagements in a meeting we held on 28th August 2024 at Eka Hotel. We had engagement with Kenya Associations of Air Operators in a meeting held on 29th August 2024 at 4 Point by Sheraton Airport, Nairobi. And finally, with engagements with Jkia Airline, Air Operators, ground handlers, GOK agencies, cargo engagement meetings, which was held on 30th August 2024 at Amara Ole Sereni. Honorable Speaker, the public participation plan was to be developed. However, this process, like I said, has been put on hold following the conservatory orders issued by the Honorable Court in Judicial Review Case number HCJR/E199/2024, which has in turn suspended the implementation of the proposed project. And on the clarification on whether there is full compliance with the provision of Article 10(2) of the Constitution on the principles of governance, including but not limited to upholding good governance, integrity, transparency, accountability. In the discussions on the proposed transfer of management of Jkia, Honorable Speaker, there has been full compliance until we were stopped. The concessioning through a PIP is a process. It's not like the PPDA or the public procurement and disposal system. It's a whole process. And there has been, I want to confirm, compliance with Article 10(2) of the Constitution and strict adherence to the Public-Private Partnership Act and guidelines issued by the Public-Private Partnership Directorate and Committee. Good governance, Honorable Speaker, integrity, transparency, and accountability has been adhered to through the conduct of due diligence, which has revealed that, like we found out up to the time where we got the orders, that Adani has not been debarred by any country. There has not been engagement in acts of corruption that we so far found it on due diligence. Is not insolvent, is tax compliant in all jurisdictions in which it has local tax presence, is not a default on payment of social security and employment benefits, and its directors or officers have not been convicted of any criminal offense related to professional conduct within a period of 5 years preceding the submission of the proposal, and have not otherwise been disqualified pursuant to administrative suspension or debarment proceeding. Speaker, honorable members, furthermore, the privately initiated proposal has been subjected to evaluation and analysis by numerous government agencies, including the PPP Directorate, the National Treasury, and the Transaction Advisor duly qualified. Therefore, the process of considering the proposal by Adani at the point where we had reached has been rigorous and we strictly following the due process set by law. On the confirmation, Speaker, honorable members, that in accordance with the provision of Article 35 of the Constitution with respect to publishing and publication of all information relating to proposal and agreements between government and Adani, let me confirm, honorable members, Speaker, that all relevant information concerning the said project has been disclosed to almost all the stakeholders, And like I said, we continue to use the court process as a public participation process because the documents are out there. The documents were submitted to Senate when they requested us for those documents. Disclosure of information is also being undertaken within the ambit of the existing case that has been filed in court, like I've mentioned. Speaker, honorable members, that is the response on the provision of information under Article 35. On the notice, on the question to provide a comprehensive report on the statistics, sorry, I think I'm done on the Adani. Speaker, thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I am extremely surprised by the Cabinet Secretary assertion that Adani has no corruption case anywhere in the world, has been compliant with taxes in where they have local jurisdiction of paying taxes. Because, Mr. Speaker, and there are documents which I can be able to submit before the House, Adani has been barred from doing business in Australia. It has been barred from doing business in India, purely for the same reason we're talking about. Therefore, I think here, Mr. Speaker, the facts which have been asserted by the Cabinet Secretary are not correct, and I think they might need to get further and proper details. However, Mr. Speaker, this matter is before the court, and now maybe, since we cannot be able to discuss in much in detail, but I think I just wanted to raise that issues which are not factual, which I would like the Cabinet Secretary to just confirm, and I'll submit these papers before the House. Nevertheless, I do not wish to have this matter discussed further because it is in court, and therefore, but for purposes of record, I'll be able to submit this record before the House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair will have to look at those papers. Yes, yes, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just to be able to guide the House, it's very important that when assertions are made by a member, they must actually prove it. And the only way to get correct information is to get the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to write to those countries' Ministry of Foreign Affairs and receive a confirmation that those allegations that you're making are indeed true. Because the precedent we are setting in the country is we are going to scare away public-private partnership. We are going to scare away investors from Kenya. Because if we do not have money as a country, the only other way to fund infrastructure programs in the country is through public-private partnerships. And so we cannot, as leaders, be the ones scaring away investors. So I think he should be given a timeline within which to confirm that information to the public through the official channels, not by his own rumor mongering and statements.
Pass on your documents to the clerk for the Speaker to look at. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First, I had wanted the Honorable Mureu to table, because he said he is tabling something. He should, as a matter of fact, table the documents but not show us WhatsApp messages. Because now what Honorable Speaker is referring are things I can see him just Googling from his phone. Honorable Speaker, you know, we cannot always treat this House as if we are...
Order, Majority Leader. Honorable Mureu, you said, as a matter of fact, that you have papers.
That he can table.
But
yes,
I can see you walking to the clerk with your phone. So which papers do you have to table? Because even what is on your phone can be printed and be...
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think electronic documents, we are at the age of information. And the only, Mr. Speaker, what I just need to do is to have it printed and give it to the clerk.
That is exactly
However, Mr.
what
Speaker,
I have said.
Yes, I have it over here. They have the report, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important also, as you talk about the benefits of PPP, transparency is most important. This issue...
Order, Honorable Mureu, you are now making a speech. I just told you, if you have documents, as you said you do have, if you have them electronically, go to the table office, print them, and table them for any member to look at. Yes, and it will not be at your cost at all. Is that the cost of Parliament?
Speaker.
Yes. Majority Leader?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and therefore, Honorable Speaker, beg that we either redact from the Hansard, because, Honorable Speaker, what the Honorable Mureu had said that he has documents that he can table, because clearly he had no documents to table. Honorable Speaker, I was just telling Honorable Mureu here, no, it's different when you are discussing matters at Kirwara Market from the House. The House, you have to come and debate with facts, not the way we debate in our marketplaces. And Honorable Speaker, because what we tend to do many a times are to make political statements for the gallery. Because we know we are on national TV, we want to be quoted in the evening news that you have evidence, but you have not tabled any evidence, and therefore must be on the Hansard and in the records of this House that the Honorable Mureu has tabled no evidence of either Adani being debarred from doing business in Australia and all the other countries he named. But Honorable Speaker, back to my question to the Cabinet Secretary, and I had wished that's what Honorable Mureu would dwell on, because the questions in the minds of Kenyans is that Adani Group was said to have initiated a privately initiated PPP proposal. We would want to know, and Kenyans would want to know, are there other investors from any other part of the world that may have had other proposals that the Kenya Airports Authority was considering together with that of Adani? Because the questions Kenyans have been asking is whether there has been transparency, whether there has been openness in the manner in which the Kenya Airports Authority and the concerned ministry has dealt with this question of Adani. And I had hoped that the Honorable Mureu would take the Cabinet Secretary to task to explain to Kenyans what measures they took to inform Kenyans whether there have been other prior proposals from other countries, from other airline management companies, from any other part of the world.
Ask your question.
Honorable Speaker, therefore, I would want to hear whether the Cabinet Secretary can tell us, have there been other proposals that were being considered together with this one for Adani? Because what we have heard in the media is what probably you hear many people quote. But we would want to hear from you, are there other proposals that you have considered? And this Adani one that you tell us now is in court, how far had it gone in terms of your engagements with Adani? Had it moved to the point where you are now discussing a concession, or are you just considering the PIP proposal from Adani? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oundo.
Honorable Speaker, let me direct my question to the Cabinet Secretary. We passed here the Framework Act, the Principal Act, and it has got very clear stages and steps to be taken before you implement a PP. Probably the Minister could be gracious enough to tell us whether the entire steps that were proposed and contemplated in the Act were ever followed to the letter, to a point they even go to the point of almost signing the agreement, and whether the law was followed as provided for in the law and the regulations. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Speaker, thank you. Honorable Ichungwa's question is regarding whether we had another privately initiated proposal in respect to Jkia. Honorable Speaker, we do not have any other privately initiated proposal in respect to concessioning of Jkia. Honorable members, to run through a PIP, you will need to have done a feasibility study, and it is a serious submission. It is not a piece of letter. So when you submit a privately initiated proposal, it is a very well done piece of work, having looked at the whole scope of the proposal and what needs to be done. So with respect to that, honorable members, we do not have any other privately initiated proposal by any concessionaire in respect to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport concessioning. or even under PPP, we don't. With respect to Oundo's question, Mheshimiwa Oundo, the PPP, like I said, is not, the process is articulated from the time when you submit. It goes through the due process in line with the PPP Act, which includes PPP approval by the PPP committee, project development phase and feasibility study, the evaluation process of the feasibility study report, the PPP committee approval of the feasibility study, the procurement of a technical assistant, and PPP committee consideration and approval of the negotiated outcome. And at the time when we got the court, when it went to court, we were at the time drafting and negotiating a concession agreement, looking at some of the technical issues like the return on equity, the debt equity ratio, the value for money, and so on and so forth. So that is where we were. But like I said, we had also gone through the due process and we were about to finalize the public engagement. So, honorable members, that is when we got the orders, and like I did indicate, we are using this time to ensure that we communicate and we do provide information to Kenyans. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Basil.
Thank you, Speaker. My supplementary is actually tied to what Oundo asked. Can the CS tell us whether Jkia was operating at a loss for it to be considered for privatization?
CS.
Thank you, honorable members. With respect to Jkia in its audited accounts makes a profit of 4 billion annually. 4 billion annually. As we are aware of the state of Jkia, the fact that we need a new airport, we have really overutilized in terms of the traffic and the population of persons we receive at Jkia, and the investment at Jkia is in the tune of 200 billion. So when you're talking about an investment, Speaker, honorable members, of 200 billion, and your bottom line is 4 billion, and the fiscal headroom for an asset which is 100% owned by government requires that kind of investment, the only route to go is the PPP route, where we bring in foreign investment through PPP. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mwenje. I want to move to the next question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mine is a quick one. In light of this transaction with Adani, perhaps the Cabinet Secretary can just explain to us what happened with the deal that existed with Kenya Airways and Jkia, which we got the feeling that it was dying, but we've never gotten a comprehensive report on what happened with that specific transaction. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Minister.
Let me just very quickly, Speaker, honorable members, that remind the House that that bill was withdrawn by this House. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go to the next question. Honorable Mureu, these papers have got no authentication. There is no indication where they're coming from. And for now, I'll disallow them. If you find a way to have them authenticated as to their source, their content, their veracity, and their accuracy, then we'll deal with it. Next question, Mark Mwenje. Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Point of order, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Muriu has made a very serious claim against an investor seeking opportunity to invest in the country in our constrained economy. And Honorable Speaker, is not a light matter. Understanding Order number 91, if you cannot duly substantiate the claims you make, then that claim, number one, must be expunged from the records. But number two, Honorable Speaker, the maker of that unsubstantiated statement must withdraw and apologize. Honorable Speaker, I'm saying this because I have information that while Honorable Muriu Mungai is saying this Adani company cannot engage in any investment in this country, as we speak, this company is engaged in very big infrastructure of projects, including in New South Wales, Australia. Mega projects, mega and bigger than this one here. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have a situation where we as leaders of a country operating in this difficult economic environment come, throwing rumors there about entities which should be investing in our country. And that is the platform of public-private partnerships. The idea that we don't have our own money to do everything in terms of development we want to do. And so we invite people who can invest and benefit the public as we go along. Honorable Speaker, even if it were to be said that this company had a problem in some country, as leaders, it can only alert us to secure our deal and to secure our national interest better, not to exclude. So this rumor mongering, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to request you that having been confirmed, and it is very unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that Honorable Muriu, who is a prominent lawyer, senior lawyer, can come before this August House with newspaper cuttings whose motive you never know. From Wamunyoro, I don't know what
Wamunyoro is.
So Honorable Speaker, could it be expunged from record because it has a company which we would rather deal with?
The documents as they are, and from advice from the table clerk, they are inadmissible. We go to the next question, and Murea, I've told you what to do if you want to be believed. Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Before I ask my question, Honorable Speaker.
I'll move to the next question. On the same issue? Okay. Honorable TJ Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, you know...
Can you mute Mwenje? Yes.
You know the member for Homa Bay is my law partner, and I always don't disagree with him on very serious issues. But as a ranking member, as I am, and I heard that from the Deputy Speaker, is it in order that members of this House should talk down other members on issues which are substantial, which are being spoken both outside and inside, to refer that members are rumor mongering? Whether it is a newspaper, no newspapers are allowed if in Speaker's wisdom, Speaker may allow certain information, including newspaper reports. That is what I know about. I'm just wondering, for the decency of debate in this House and for the respect that members have on each other, a gentleman such as a member for Wakili as he is, should a whole presiding officers face him and tell him that he is rumor mongering when actually he is stating issues which are both passionate in this House and outside? That is the context of my
Thank you, TJ. I've already given direction on the matter, and Wakili Mureo, being a senior lawyer, knows what to do with his documents. Mark Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the 14th question by private notice of this year. Could the Cabinet Secretary, 1, provide a comprehensive report on the amount disbursed to Kera for the financial year 2023-2024 as of September 2024 for Nairobi County, and the measures being taken to address the audited delay? Second question, give reasons for the delay in full disbursements of the road maintenance levy funding during the financial year 2023-2024 for Nairobi City County to the Kenya Rural Roads Authority, Kera. Honorable Speaker, as the as the CS rises to ask, we had requested last time to expand this question, not just to apply to Nairobi City County, but to the entire country as well, with your indulgence. Thank
Minister.
you.
Honorable Speaker, allow me not to repeat the question, but to respond that Kenya Rural Roads Authority, KERA, received a total of 42,101,040 Kenya shillings per constituency, countrywide, under the 22% RMLF. That is the Road Maintenance Levy Fund, financing for the financial year 2023-24, including constituencies in Nairobi County, which of course total to 17. And when you compute what was received and dispersed to Nairobi, it totals to 715,717,680 Kenya shillings for that 22% RMLF. The amount, Speaker, honorable members, however, falls short of the initial budgeted amount of 44,522,070 shillings per constituency, as earlier guided by Kenya Roads Board, ceiling for the financial year 23-24. The variance arose due to actual RMLF collection falling short of the projected amounts by a margin of 5.4% per constituency, which totaled to 2,421,030 Kenya shillings. And of course, the shortfall, honorable members, Speaker, is due to the amount of petroleum products that was consumed in the country. Speaker, honorable members, I have shown a table that details the disbursement received in the reporting year 23-24 and how we tranche that money and the shortfall that I've talked about. Similarly, under the 10% RMLF funding, the authority received 17,107,109 Kenya shillings per constituency, against a budgeted amount of 20,237,304, which was based on KRB ceiling provided for the year. The total amount received for the financial year under the 10% RMLF was therefore 290,820,853 against the expected funding of 344,034,168, representing a variance of 15.5%, honorable members. With respect to the table that basically articulate that 10% RMLF funding, I've shown that in that table where we basically showing the 10% RMLF that was released at 17,107,109 for each constituency as shown in the table. With respect to the second question, the Kenya Roads Board collects the road maintenance levy on a continuous basis and disperses to the recipient agencies through the ministry. The disbursement for the various agencies were done in a timely manner, and I wish to clarify that KERA, or Kenya Rural Roads Agency, dispersed funds on to the regional office based on what was received or what is received. The funds for Nairobi City County, honorable members, and all other constituencies were therefore remitted and will continue to be remitted promptly. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, honorable members.
Mwenje.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I thank the Cabinet Secretary for his response. Honorable Speaker, my follow-up is basically that these amounts for KERA have consistently been reducing. The fact that our committees went to the ground and budgeted even for these savings that were going to occur. Honorable Speaker, then how can the Cabinet Secretary guarantee that this will not repeat itself in the subsequent financial years, especially considering that the reduction that occurred and the notice that came out gravely affected projects that were going, contracts who had already committed to certain projects, and that means they are incomplete works that will remain as a result of the reduction of funds caused by the revised ceilings. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Lodge. Member from Adani. Give Anton Lodge the mic.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me make this follow-up question to the CS. What is the legal mechanism by which a ceiling which has already been committed to constituencies, work plans already done, and already some activities and advertisements being undertaken, how can the roads levy fund based on alleged reduced earnings then be able to ask constituencies that they will not be able to undertake these processes? I have a case in my constituency where, based on the savings that are now unremitted, we did a road up to 80% of it and is now at a standstill. Is there a legal mechanism by which you can be able to fall back and say that these were your ceilings, but we have now not collected enough? I think the minister should be able to come clean to avoid putting constituencies in roads that are being done to a certain extent and now will be left undone as white elephants. Thank you.
Dr. Mutunga. Minister will take.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my supplementary question is around the same money committed to pay for contracts that had already been issued. Honorable Speaker, I have a case in my constituency where a road was estimated to be done at around 4 million, and only 3 million was available. Then I go back to the apportionment of the money and the decisions made when the reductions were done. Did the ministry not take into account that committed money is already incurring a debt and therefore make provisions for this even as the reductions were to go on? Was that taken into account, Honorable Speaker?
Thank you. Oundo.
Speaker, I think this issue of the 22% and 10% is now becoming a thorn in the flesh. Honorable Speaker, once the works are complete, assuming the entire disbursement was made, once the works are complete, there is what we call savings. Honorable Speaker, and I want to ask the CS to clarify, up to now, the so-called savings have not been remitted to the regional offices to enable us undertake and enable the CRC, that's the Concession Roads Committee, to undertake the other remaining works on the various roads. When is the savings going to be remitted to the regional offices to enable them complete the ongoing roads?
Yes, Nyenze. Let's take one more from Edith, then you answer. We got the next question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mine is a question, a supplementary question on Kera roads again. There was an advertisement which was done on the 22 and also 10% roads, I think about 2 weeks ago. Then after that, it was withdrawn. They say they have suspended that advertisement. And the advertisement which had gone out actually did not have the names of the constituencies. They did not even give us, as the members of Parliament, the amount allocated. And in some instances, you are having a road which is touching on 2 constituencies. So you can't tell this belongs to my constituency or to the neighboring constituency. So my question is, why was this advert suspended? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The supplementary question with respect to basically the works that had been advertised, and on account of projected revenues, which was not met because of the shortfall on the 22% RMLF collection, which comes through the fuel collection. Honorable members, I was with the Committee on Roads and Transport last week, and this question was alive. And what we have done is to compute the savings on the actual contracts achieved vis-a-vis the budget that was allocated to every road. And my team, honorable members, which is here with me, are computing the savings to be able to address the shortfall and therefore mitigate the challenge that the members face over projects that had been advertised, committed, and works done. And as of yesterday, I think Kera did pass through the board the amounts due to the shortfall and will be dispersed shortly. I think that will address the question of the shortfall with respect to the challenge that arises when budgeting is not properly done. We'll need to really look at estimates on what we think we should be able to collect on RMLF due to the volume of petroleum that the country will consume, and ensure that we do not run into this challenge. But as regarding the shortfall or whether the RMLF is reducing, I think in the subsequent questions we'll see the RMLF growing from 2019-2020 and progressively all the way to almost 100% growth by the year 2022-23. So the challenge of overestimating the revenues, going out to tender for roads on estimates that may not be achieved. We'll work very closely to ensure with the EPRA and the people who give us the estimates for the petroleum products that will be consumed, so that we do not get into that situation. But like I've said, as of yesterday, the board of Kera met and approved the shortfall based on the savings, and will be able to mitigate that challenge. With respect to Edith Nyense's concern of the suspended advertisements which had gone out, I think we are going to re-advertise by next week. That's what I'm advised, and therefore we'll be able to address that challenge. Let me, in the course of this sitting, I'll get more details, and if that is not satisfactory, I'll be able to address that. Thank you.
You, Kandia.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask question number 167 of 2023. Could the Cabinet Secretary explain the criteria used by Kenya Roads Board to determine the amount of funds to allocate to each constituency? 2, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a detailed analysis of monies that Kenya Roads Board has dispersed to all the 290 constituencies from the year 2019 to 2023? 3, could the Cabinet Secretary provide a comprehensive list of roads each of the 47 counties that Kenya Roads Board has allocated monies to in the recent past? Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
CS.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the question, Honorable Joshua Kandia. Honorable members, Section 6 of the Kenya Roads Board Act number 7 of 1999 lays out how the Roads Maintenance Levy Fund, RMLF, is allocated to the road agencies, more specifically Section 6, 2D1 and 2 of the KRB Act, that's the Kenya Roads Board Act, stipulates the following allocation to constituencies. 22%, honorable members, which shall be deposited into a special bank account to be called Constituency Road Fund Account, to be maintained by every constituency of the allocated funds, and is allocated equally to all constituencies in the country and to be administered by the Rural Roads Authority. Another 10% of the allocated funds is set and allocated for the maintenance of development of link roads between constituencies, like was mentioned by Honorable Edith Nyanza, and to serve as government counterpart funds in funding works on rural roads to be administered by, again, Kenya Rural Roads Authority, and that the said percentage or percentum shall be equally distributed to all the constituencies, like the 22%, where Kenya Rural Roads Authority has the mandate. Honorable members, each constituency received RMLF funds in the last 4 financial years as shown in that table. I hope, honorable members, with respect to 22%, for the year 2019-2020, it was every constituency received 21,564,277. The following year, 2020-21, each constituency received the 22% portion at 22,642,491. And in the year 21-22, each constituency received 25,319,331. And in 2022-23, each constituency under the 22% received 42,598,809. And similarly, I have tabulated the receipt amount under the 10% critical link roads for the 4 financial years. And the totals, like I said, have moved progressively in 2019-2020 from 31,366,221 to 61 million in 2022-23 to 61,961,904, which is some good progression. Honorable members, Section 19(4) of KRB Act mandates the board to consolidate the annual roads works program submitted to it by roads agencies into annual public roads program. You will normally see the APRP for approval by the government cabinet secretary for roads and finance. The roads funded in each constituency are detailed in the approved APRP for KERA for the previous 4 financial years, which I've attached. And Speaker, allow me to table the annual roads works program as requested. This is the annual roads program, both from the year 2021-22, 2019-2020, 2020-2021, 21-22, and 22-23, with all the annual work programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, honorable members, before we go to the next, Honorable Elisha, order. Honorable members, allow me to acknowledge in the Speaker's gallery 2 very distinguished ladies from the East African region, the Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, the Honorable Anita Among, otherwise known as Triple A, and the Honorable Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania, Dr. Julia Acton, who is also the President of the IPU. The 2 speakers